Your body is doing something bizarre right now and you have no idea.
A 200 millisecond delay is all it takes to fool your brain. Right now, try it. Run your fingers along your own ribs. Nothing. Maybe a faint pressure. Definitely not laughter. But if someone else does the exact same thing, same spot, same force, you'd probably squirm across the room. So what's different? It isn't the touch, it's who sent the signal. And buried inside that difference is one of the most important things your brain does. Something that, when it breaks down, changes how a person experiences reality itself.
Here's the real stakes. Your nervous system is constantly making one of the most critical judgments in biology. Did that sensation come from me or from something out there? Get it wrong in one direction, and you can't move without drowning in your own body's noise. Every footstep feels like something grabbing your foot. Every arm swing registers as an attack. Get it wrong in the other direction, and your own thoughts start to feel like they came from somewhere else. The tickle question isn't trivial. It's a window into the exact mechanism your brain uses to draw the line between self and not self. And that line is everything. The answer lives in a structure at the back of your skull called the cerebellum. And it does something genuinely remarkable. The moment you decide to move your hand toward your own ribs, the cerebellum fires off a prediction. Not after the movement, before it completes. It generates a precise forecast of exactly what your skin should feel, milliseconds before your fingers arrive. Think of it like GPS rerouting before you've hit the turn. The map's already updated. That prediction gets sent to the parts of your brain that process touch. When the actual sensation arrives, those areas compare it against the forecast. If they match, as they do when you're touching yourself, the signal gets cancelled, suppressed, filed as expected, ignore. Researchers Sarah Jane Blakemore, Daniel Wolpert, and Chris Frith demonstrated this in 1998, publishing in Nature Neuroscience. They called it a forward model, a predictive copy of the sensory consequences of your own movement generated in advance. The tickle never had a chance. It was cancelled before it could register as a surprise. Here's the part that makes this more than a fun fact. Researchers can actually measure this cancellation happening inside the brain, and what they found changes the picture completely. When your skin is touched by someone else, two regions light up strongly on brain scans. First, the secondary somatosensory cortex, which processes the intensity and texture of touch. Second, the insula, which ties sensation to emotion, including that panicked, helpless laughter of being tickled. When you touch yourself in the exact same spot with the exact same pressure, those regions are significantly quieter. Not slightly, measurably, substantially quieter. The brain isn't just habituated to your own touch the way you stop noticing a refrigerator hum. It's actively suppressing the signal in real time. The cerebellum's prediction doesn't just prepare the brain, it sends a cancellation order ahead of the sensation, and the cortex follows it. This is why force and location don't matter. You could press as hard as a stranger would. You could hit the exact spot that makes you crumple when someone else finds it. The prediction still cancels the surprise, and tickle, neurologically, is surprise. No surprise, no tickle. So here's a question. What if you could trick the prediction? Blakemore's team built a device, essentially a tickle machine. You move a joystick with one hand, and a small rod strokes the palm of your other hand in response. Same movement, same person, but routed through a machine. At zero delay, it still felt like self-touch, expected, flat. But when the researchers introduced a delay, even just 200 milliseconds, roughly the time it takes to blink, something shifted. The touch started to feel less self-generated, more external. The tickly sensation crept back. 0.2 of a second. That's how tight the window is. The forward model is so precisely timed that a 200 millisecond lag breaks it. The brain reclassifies its own hand as a stranger's. But why did the nervous system evolve to do this in the first place? The answer goes deeper than tickling, and it explains something fundamental about how you experience every single movement you make. Your body generates an enormous amount of sensory noise just by existing. Walking, breathing, shifting your weight, swinging your arms. Each produces touch signals, pressure signals, proprioceptive signals. Without a filtering system, all of it would compete equally for your attention. The forward model is that filter. It flags self-generated sensation as low priority, predicted, therefore safe, so your sensory system stays alert to what actually matters, the unexpected, the thing that moved that wasn't you. An animal that couldn't distinguish its own movement from an external threat wouldn't last long. Every rustle it caused itself would trigger a panic response. Every breath would feel like an intrusion. Wolpert, Garamani, and Jordan laid out the computational logic of this in a 1995 paper in Science. The brain runs internal models of its own body to predict and filter sensory consequences before they arrive. The forward model isn't just about tickling. It's the reason you can function. It's the reason you can move through the world without being overwhelmed by yourself.
Here's where this stops being a curiosity about tickling and becomes something that genuinely reframes how we understand one of the most misunderstood conditions in psychiatry. In 2000, Blakemore and colleagues published a follow-up study in NeuroReport. They tested whether people with schizophrenia could tickle themselves. They could, partially. People with schizophrenia rated self-produced touch as significantly more ticklish than healthy controls did under identical conditions. Their forward models were less precise. The prediction didn't fully match the actual movement, so the touch arrived carrying some element of surprise, some element of "not me." Think about what that means. If the forward model is imprecise, if your brain can't reliably predict the sensory consequences of your own actions, your own movements start to feel slightly external. And if that same imprecision applies to thoughts, not just physical movements, your own internally generated thoughts could arrive feeling like they came from somewhere else, like a voice that isn't yours. This is one of the leading mechanistic explanations researchers are investigating for auditory verbal hallucinations in schizophrenia, the experience of hearing voices. The forward model deficit that shows up in tickling experiments may be the same deficit that makes self-generated mental activity feel like external intrusion. Tickling and psychosis, connected by the same 200 millisecond window.
So here's what's actually happening when you fail to tickle yourself. Your cerebellum fires a prediction the instant you decide to move. That prediction reaches your sensory cortex before your fingers do. The touch arrives, gets compared against the forecast, and because they match, gets cancelled, filed as self, ignored. The same machinery that makes that sensation disappear is what keeps every movement you make from overwhelming you. It's the filter between you and the noise of your own body. And when that filter is miscalibrated, when the prediction is just slightly off, the boundary between self and world starts to blur. Your own touch feels foreign. Your own thoughts arrive as voices. You can't tickle yourself because your brain cancels the sensation before it arrives. That isn't a quirk. It's a fundamental mechanism of self-perception. And when it fails, it's one of the leading clues researchers have to how schizophrenia actually works. A party trick question, a real window into how your brain decides what's you and what's the world. This video explains how the body works. It's not medical advice. If you have questions about your own health, talk to a clinic.
If your body still confuses and amazes you, subscribe. We explain every strange thing it does.